middle of a congressional hearing, House Democrats were actually getting questions fed to them by Jeffrey Epstein. Not like some intermediary, not like Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer. No, they were directly texting with Jeffrey Epstein about questions they should ask of Michael Cohen to try to get Trump. Like, she was literally sitting there waiting to question Michael Cohen. And while she was waiting, she was fucking texting with Epstein about what she should ask. He was telling her who she should ask about, what questions she should ask. You want to talk about who's connected with Jeffrey Epstein? How about the one who was texting with him while she was in a congressional hearing?
Condemning Delegate Stacey Plaskett and removing her from the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence for conduct that reflects the discredibility on the House of Representatives for colluding with convicted felon and offender Jeffrey Epstein during a congressional.
You don't want to talk about what is really happening here. Your attacks on working families, your protection of powerful predators and corporate criminals. You want to talk about texting felons? How often do you text President Donald J. Trump? That's the individual we should be concerned about.
The point of order is you may not call the President of the United States a felon. That is a violation.
Point of order is under consideration, and we're not going to lose order here.
Ladies and gentlemen, she is having a full-blown meltdown because she got caught. Should she stay? Comment down below. Stop this video. Did what she do was wrong by texting Epstein, knowing that he was a convicted you-know-what? And by the way, there's another Democrat that's already out of there as well. That we got all these Democrats who lose their minds on trying to take Trump out so much are suffering a breakdown. But let's go back to Stacey Plaskett. She was caught texting Jeffrey Epstein, and there is a time lapse of what she was texting and how he was telling her she was doing a good job. Now, this is all reported by the New York Times, the New York Post. All these big articles and publishing articles have come out against this Democrat. So now Republicans are removing her and she is freaking out. Let's take a look at how she's freaking out, who she's blaming, and the fact that she's asking to make, she doesn't want to get, she does not want to be removed. Take a listen.
Was seeking advice from him. Let me tell you something. I don't need to get advice on how to question anybody from any individual. I have been a lawyer for 30 years. I have been a narcotics prosecutor in New York City. I have had the honor of being a political appointee at the Justice Department after September 11th as a Republican appointee in the Bush administration. I know how to question individuals. I know how to seek information.
So she is melting down because she's gotten caught. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeffrey Epstein was weaponizing Democrats, and during a congressional hearing, that is a crazy violation, especially with ongoing investigations at that time. So what exactly the story that she's trying to tell here? There is no story to tell. You got caught and you were being weaponized by Jeffrey Epstein to get information, to hand it over to Michael Cohen, who was testifying in front of Congress under oath while you were trying to get all the scoops from Jeffrey Epstein. And you got caught, and now you're melting down, and now you're throwing it all back. This is crazy.
With a host of other individuals that I felt the committee should subpoena. They've never been subpoenaed. They've never been questioned. Because at the end of the day, I know that in the Trump administration and with my colleagues over there, it's not about sexual assault. It's not about support of victims. It's about money. It is about money. I have consistently stood against sexual violence and the exploitation of women and children in previous careers, as well as here in this body.
So she says she's against exploitation in front of the Congress. And again, she is pleading her case to stay on board. And she is saying that she is against all of these things that she did. Exploitation, you're literally getting information from a guy who you think is going to be honest. You guys are trying to frame President Trump because he was allegedly working on the side or doing bad things with by bad things, I don't want to be explicit here, but you guys know where I'm going with this. So she is trying to tell you that Jeffrey Epstein is the scum of the earth, the worst person ever, while also texting him to receive information to exploit Michael Cohen, to exploit the victims. That's what you're doing. You're exploiting. And that's why these literally, that's why these Republicans are coming out and trying to get rid of her. Look at this.
Resolution 888, censoring and condemning Delegate Stacey Plaskett and removing her from the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence for conduct that reflects the discredibility on the House of Representatives for colluding with convicted felon and offender Jeffrey Epstein during a congressional hearing.
So then there's just more. The meltdown continues. Plaskett on the edge of insanity with this discharge petition. The implosion will be historic. Take a listen.
Struggle. And let me tell people of the Virgin Islands.
Gentleman will state his point of order.
The point of order is you may not call the president of the United States a felon. That is a violation.
Point of order is under consideration, and we're not going to lose order here either. So please.
May I continue? May I continue?
Members
She got fact checked live on air.
are, however, reminded to refrain, as mentioned a little while ago, from making personality commentary towards the president. The point of order is not timely, so the gentlelady is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. What is happening here? I feel sorry for my colleagues. I feel sorry for this body. I see members coming and speaking against me who I've never even had a conversation with. You don't know me. You don't know the work that I've done. You don't know the support that I've given to families, to individuals, to support people. I worked a full-time job with children under the age of 5, going to school, law school at night. Do you think I would risk my law degree for any individual?
But you did. That's why she's melting down, because she did. What a breakdown this is. This is very sad. And here is Jamie Ratskin. Panic. Ratskin is now threatening anyone who votes to censure Stacey Plaskett. Be aware of your answer here. There's a lot more to come out. Guys, Democrats are in full panic. They just didn't think that this would. They thought that Trump would fold. He didn't. He is again signing off. Everything will be out there, and everything that is coming out is literally against them. Hakeem Jeffries was soliciting. He wanted to have dinner and wanted to campaign and wanted to receive donations from Jeffrey Epstein. All of these people are getting caught, and now you have these people freaking out.
Well, they want to give them another headline, which is that they've arraigned a Democratic member for taking a phone call from her constituent, Jeffrey Epstein, in the middle of a hearing. And of course, I don't think there's any rule here against taking phone calls in a hearing. Now, if you want to actually give her the chance to explain what happened, then we would take it to the ethics committee. I still don't see what the charge is. Where is the ethical transgression? Where is the legal transgression? Are you saying anybody on your side of the aisle who had a phone call with Jeffrey Epstein should be censured? Be careful your answer there, because there's a lot more that's about to come out, right? So you should think about what is the principle behind this rush to judgment. I want to close just with this thought, because I know there were a lot of people.
Oh, this is so bad. They have no shame. They have no shame. She wasn't on a phone call. She was texting to get information. She was exploiting the victims to get names and exploiting the whole Jeffrey Epstein saga and debacle to basically frame Trump. That's what's happening. That's why this is all going down in flames. You guys are all cooked. You guys are all cooked. There is no coming back from this. And the fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, they have no shame in literally trying to save this Democrat that was caught texting the biggest pedo there is. The guy that they're claiming is at the pedestal of pedalness. Hope you guys understand what I'm saying there. She was caught texting that guy. That's why I say they have no shame. That's why they're kicking her out of all these committees and expose and just she must resign. She has to resign. And that's what they're forcing her to do. And that's what she's going to end up doing. Right. So unfortunately for these Democrats who were rooting and again, saying that this would be all hell will break loose. Now they have the responsibility to read all the pages and get all this information. And what's about to come out seems like it's already coming out against them and their party. I mean, look at Hakeem Jeffries. Are we going to see him getting pressured and questioned for all that everything has come out against him? This guy literally was, look at this. Hakeem Jeffries needs to step down from office immediately. Soliciting donations from Jeffrey Epstein is unacceptable and must come with severe consequences. This is the same guy that stood up on MSNBC, CNN, speaking of how the American people deserve the truth and nothing but the truth.
Coordination with Epstein. Another email shows Democrat fundraisers invited Epstein to an event or to meet privately with Hakeem Jeffries as part of their 2013 effort to win a majority. So Hakeem Jeffries' campaign solicited money from Jeffrey Epstein. That's what we found in the last document batch. The files underscore why former President Trump must appear for his deposition. We've subpoenaed him. To date, the Democrats have done nothing to help us secure his appearance. I support full transparency. The Oversight Committee will continue to work to get the truth to the American people and to get justice for the victims. That's our goal of this investigation. With that, I yield back.
The gentleman yields back. Yeah, Mr. Speaker, we reserve. The gentleman reserves. The gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
But we got the truth. You guys were texting Jeffrey Epstein. You guys were trying to get information. You guys were being used by Jeffrey Epstein. And it got all exposed during a congressional hearing. And in 2013, when you were soliciting donations from that same guy. So what else is to come out? Well, I can't wait because this is all backfiring on them. Everything that they have said that Donald Trump is guilty of, once again, Democrats proving that they are guilty of that same thing. This is crazy. Pleading for your job and telling people that you deserve to still be a congresswoman, still deserve to be respected after all of this has come out. I mean, the play-by-play is actually unbelievable. The play-by-play, everything that he was texting her during that moment. And now you have Hakeem Jeffries soliciting donations and trying to go to dinner. And this is the same guy that is one of the Democrat leaders who is saying that Trump is trying to hide all of this. I mean, this is just getting out of hand. All this information is actually crazy. And I'm glad that it's coming out because it's all backfiring.